All right, and with that, let's go live, shall we? Um, Sound check, make sure I'm good there. Hey, Lee. Hey, Joe. Welcome, guys. My co-host is in the basement, and he's actually gotten some stuff done this week. Picking on you, John. Picking on you. Don't worry, I can't hear you yet because I haven't brought you up. Hey, Wiggy, Steven, 3Dub, and a half a dozen other names. Hey, Anthony. I'm hoping sound is okay. Nobody has confirmed it yet. Folks, somebody confirm I have sound. Oh, thank you, John. Appreciate it. All right. Today's theme is community. And, we're very fortunate to have such a YouTube community that we have. The help we receive from others, the friendships we make, just chatting, et cetera, and and occasionally we have stuff show up in the mail. So that's what we're going to talk about this week with three of our featured people. I'm going to bring one of them up.
Good morning, all.
Good morning, Jeff.
And I apologize in advance. I may have to go off several times. I'm taking care of my 91-year-old father-in-law that fell and broke his upper arm and left wrist and had to have a shoulder replacement. So I got a baby monitor on him.
Well, we definitely understand all that and how things like that can affect our daily lives.
Oh, yes. I'm the only one left to take care of him.
Oh, did the son come head back this way?
He's close. Got a belt that we're heating up that can't get around the pulleys because it's too cold.
Oh, okay.
It froze overnight and it was outside, so it's shorter than it should be.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
When you drop stuff in carpet.
You've got some staticky stuff going on, or you're rubbing around on something, or
that's this static. Sorry.
Yeah, Lynn's got a ringer thing on his wife too, as she convalesces from her stroke. So.
Yeah, it's rough. We're supposed to be getting some home health care aid to help me because I can't go grocery shopping. I gotta eat. So
well, you don't have to eat as much.
No, that's true. But I've already lost.
And in fairness, neither do I. Yeah. Hey, Bernard. Welcome, buddy.
Morning, man.
All right. What did you type to me? At least you hear me, okay. Well, you could have said that.
I did.
Oh, it was before I brought you up? Okay.
Right. So I did say it. You can't read it.
No, I can't. Yeah, before I get into this week's unboxings, we talk about community. A bunch of us have received things from like Rick Bailey, Fultz Bailey Mile Railroad, coffee mugs. I've gotten stuff from Rick, and Jason and I, Train Freak, are sending stuff back and forth all the time. And of course, John and I send some stuff back and forth. I get something, a duplicate or something I don't need, and matter of fact, I got something I need to send to him right now, and he does the same. So, I mean, it's great.
Yeah, I'm just gonna reuse your box.
There you go. And that's how I met John, was via this YouTube. He was a subscriber. Never said much until one day he said he lived across the bay over in St. Pete or Pinellas Park, and wanted to see if we could get together. Yeah, whichever. It's all the same. Lived the other side of the bay. How's that? And so, our community is great. All right. And I received a couple special things this week. And I think John even received something this week, didn't you, John?
Yes, I did.
So
I will have an unboxing today.
All righty. Cool beans. It froze on you? Well, that's what you get when you live up north.
Yeah, right. I'm at 36 degrees here now, so that's not too bad.
It was a tad nipply here this morning. It was down in the 40s, like 46 or something.
Oh my word! You get out the heavy coat.
Iguanas were falling from the trees, man.
Yeah, I heard a report of that. Somebody got hit in the head with an iguana.
Yeah. Now,
there's none around you.
Yeah, true. They're further south. In case people think those are made up stories, they're not. That's true in Florida. Down south, Miami and Keys and places like that, it gets cold, and the iguanas, I guess, go into a state of hibernation, and they start falling out of the trees.
Mm-hmm.
And, we're talking iguanas. They're big.
Yeah.
Not the little lizards, the geckos type stuff that we have around here in Tampa, but big lizards. So that's always the thing in Florida. It's so cold, iguanas fall from the trees.
JB says he had 12 degrees.
Brr.
That's cold.
That's just too damn cold. I remember my 21st birthday, 1979, January 79. It was minus 22 degrees without the wind chill. My dad was afraid to turn on the defroster in the car, the kind that's embedded, the wires that are embedded in the glass, because he was afraid it was going to crack the glass. So, not sure that it would, but he was afraid it would. So, of course, it was a 1970 Oldsmobile, and those were some of the earlier models to have that feature.
You can.
Well, John, what have you been working on? Why don't you tell people what you've been working on?
I've gotten a little.
Hey, Jared.
Done this week. I said my father-in-law had that fall Sunday and needed to have surgery, so it's taken some of my time. But I did get some more track laid. I did get some more road bed down. If I can get my camera up here. Sorry, I don't have a movable camera.
Yeah, that's Alaska, JB.
So, yeah, I got these turnouts installed. Got the road bed back here. I can't get the camera up any higher either. So, around here.
I see a tortoise hanging down there.
Not yet. Nope.
Okay.
See. Yeah.
I thought I saw one.
But this one right here is going to be my caboose track.
Hey, hi, good morning. Or afternoon for you.
On the side of it's going to be an engine track. And the very last turnout over there that's got all the pins in, that will be my track that's going to go into my turntable.
Cool.
It's not in yet, but that's going to be probably one of my next tasks is get that installed. So I know where to run the tracks to.
All right. Looking for the screen to make you big. That didn't do it.
I am big. You don't have to make me big. Although I did just get in a pair of 34 pants, which I haven't been in 15 years. So I'm doing something right.
What do I get?
Not eating because I can't go to the store.
Huh. I can do that. Now you're big.
Oh, yeah, I'm even bigger.
So. All right. So you got what? 2 pieces of track laid?
No, I only actually got one piece of. No, I got. See, one.
Hey, Digger. Hey, GWR.
I got 4 turnouts put in, and a couple pieces of track. So I was going to have more in, but things around here got a little crazy, and I couldn't get my track in for the caboose track or the engine track.
That's understandable.
At least it's progress.
Yeah.
We can always use progress. That's good. Plus, I've been helping my son with his car and trying to get. He wants to go back to the warm weather in Florida.
Go figure.
Yeah. So.
Hello, Model Time. Welcome. I hope everybody had a chance to see Tuesday's tip of the day with the unveiling of Union Station. I've come to the conclusion, though, that I am going to put the lighting for the platforms and for the station on a separate switch instead of photocell, so that I can turn the lights on inside and down on the track level, even when the lights are on here, because you can't see the detail when the big lights are on in the room through the glass and on the inside. But it should be a rather simple project to do. All I need to do is run a separate 12-volt bus that's not on the photocell. And if I'm not mistaken, I may have a wall wart, a 12-volt wall wart, actually right underneath the cabinets here that I can do that from. Because I don't think there's enough amperage from all those LEDs to overtax a wall wart. But we'll see. If it is, I could get a bigger wall wart. So. Thank you, Anthony. I appreciate that. JB, thank you. You know, I'd still have more cars, more vehicles, more people to do. And I've started, I don't know if you can see it. I'm going to make myself big for a second. Yeah, there it is. Back there where you see the wood, that's actually the foundation that I'm working on for the Chicago main post office. And there's no other post office like it in the world that I know of.
And did you ever answer my question that I put in the notes for the Tuesday show? How many people are you planning on having around and in the station?
I currently have at least 250 in this scene. And it probably needs a minimum of another 100 to 150. Because the platforms down below need more. The street scenes out here need a lot more as I get the background buildings and stuff built. So, and I have ordered the ITLA Chicago L tracks that will go just the other side of here. So hopefully I'll have that for next week. Yeah, Lynn, the problem I have with using one of those, they've got an accessory, you know, you got the DC variable on those Tycos, and I've got an extra one sitting down here. And then it's got an accessory hookup. Now, I'm not sure if those accessory hookups are 12 volt DC or 16 volt AC.
I think they're an AC.
I think they are too, simply because to power the solenoid switch machines.
Correct.
Okay, and I don't want to put a variable on there, and I don't want something that's going to overheat a lot, etc. Now I do use a 12 volt Tyco transformer to power the Motorman here. Okay. Yeah, I don't want to use the variable. Anytime you do a rheostat type hookup, I don't know what it is, but they heat up more. As opposed to something that's just the constant 12 volt. Maybe the amount of amperage that's being put through there. I don't know.
Well, Steve, now since I'm so not far in my layout, I will be doing the computer power supply system.
Right.
Where I can run 3.35 volt, was it 9 and 12 negative.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll be having a lot more lines around my layout, but I won't have to worry about is it the right voltage that I need, because I have a lot of 3.3 amp LED bulbs. So
yeah, I just use the resistors. I have on my layout. I have 4 main DCC bus lines. Then I have a 12 volt constant on photocells. I have a 16 volt AC that powers the smoke generators, and I'm not sure if it runs the turntable or not. I think it runs the turntable too. So the one thing I don't have, I used to have it, but I changed it over to the photocells, is the 12 volt constant DC. And simply because all the lights prior to Union Station were all on the photocell, so I think the 12 volt constant for Union Station, because that's the only one that has an interior, okay, to look into.
Yeah, when you finish with these buildings, you got to go back and start putting in the interiors.
No, I don't.
Yeah. Well, you got to have something to do. What are you going to have tip of the day on?
Oh, how about, let's see, about 50 or 60 passenger coaches that need interiors and lights. That's just a start.
Yeah. Okay.
I got more projects lined up than I'll ever finish. All right, I don't need any more.
Yeah, me, I could probably not even leave the house for 10 years and have enough projects to keep me going. I did have some good news. So my friend from Zitniks that lives up here now is going down to work with them for 3 weeks. And he said, whatever I need to let him know, and he'll bring back to me and actually make the 2-hour and 45-minute extra drive to bring it to me.
I need some bulk 148s.
Yeah, well, see, he's coming up here to Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. So, you don't want to still be my Zitnik supplier?
It's a little different now.
He'll travel 600 miles for you, and he won't travel 20 across the bay?
No, he has to come back up here to be at home, so he's just taking teasing. A diversion.
Yeah, well, but it's only a 20-mile diversion to stop by my house.
Yeah, I was telling him about, the Plastistruck glue that was so expensive online, and I couldn't find it anyplace cheaper. I said, bring me up 3 bottles. Maybe I'll pay him full price that I paid online. I'll pay for his gas to make the side trip.
I'm
You know?
telling you that MEK substitute works
Yeah,
like a champ.
yeah.
I mean,
The
I've
only thing
got
I worry about the
the
smell on it. Is there smell
a little
associated
bit.
with?
You know, I've been. This is actually 5 pieces of uh, for the post office. Okay, and it works great.
Stop.
Works great. Great, great, great.
Okay, back on gun subject. A friend of mine just brought me a little holster for my 45 to carry around the property. So,
Cool.
yeah.
Well, as long as Joe is talking about his Vinny package, which I'm sure he'll have a unboxing on shortly, I got mine last Saturday. I think it was Saturday. All right. So I'm not like I have to open them right away, and it is looks to be a mechanical reefer, either that or just an insulated plug door box car. But it's a Fruit Growers Express. Let's see what it says. No, it's an insulated box car. When in doubt, look at the label, right? So anyway, this is what I won on Vinny's Christmas giveaway. Insulated box car. All right. I need Katie couplers. I made progress out of like the 8 or 9. Probably more than that. Let's see how many I still have on here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 4, out of like 12 kits that I've been waiting to put on the layout. I got 4 of them on this week. And don't ask me what they are because I can't remember. One's a Burlington hopper, and 2 war emergency hoppers for my gravel plant, and one other. What the hell was the other? What is the other? I think it's under here. Oh, the other is a Burlington coal hopper. So I got 4 on, but then I ran out of KD couplers. So I need to restock my supplies. So anyway, that was my Vinny.
Yeah, didn't you get
package.
3 of those war emergency hoppers?
I did, and one of them is a duplicate road number, and I'm too lazy to change it. So I'm just going to send that to you, John.
Oh, okay. It'll be welcome.
Because you need some CB and Q equipment on your layout.
Yes, I do. I would agree.
After all, I have C and EI on mine, so
yes. Well,
wonder where it came from.
C and EI went to Chicago. It is Chicago and Eastern Illinois, so it did go there.
Yep.
And I'm sure there were some Burlington cars that came south into Illinois and Indiana. So
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. I forget what year they bought a line that ran from, I think, near Galesburg, maybe from Burlington, Iowa, down through Illinois to Paducah, Kentucky. All right. And so they did run that way, and that's been extended now. And I don't know what year that was. But
it was interesting, Steve, where I live up here.
Hello, Randall.
My ex-daughter-in-law lives on Old Railroad Grade Road. There was a lot of coal mining up here, or coal pits dug around here. In fact, one of the buddy that just gave me this holster, another Steve, he bought property that was a coal strip mine for coal. So I understand from the person I bought the house from, there is a lot of history of the railroad right in this area that I'm going to have to try to look into.
Uh-huh.
Bond Air, which is like the first section you get to when you come up on the mountain, used to have big hotels and restaurants, and it was like a summer place for people to come down from up north and stay. And I'm gonna I'm gonna look into that. Had its own bank and everything. And I guess they were pretty big hotels also. Oh.
Wouldn't surprise me. That area. Um, there's a lot of history and uh, things that went on in and around where you're at. Hell, Sergeant York. Everybody knows who Sergeant
Hmm.
York was from World War One. Came from an area just north of Cookville.
Right.
Uh,
Was
so
it Livingston?
I don't remember off the top of my head, but Cookville was the closest railhead to where he grew up. Hell, it wasn't much of any kind of town or anything, but just scattered building, farmers around.
Hmm.
So he always wanted that bottom land.
Yeah, I enjoy knowing
Randall, I'm not.
area.
Randall, I'm not a big F unit fan. The Burlington didn't have many of them. They initially for the Zephyr service, when they got away from the articulateds, the original Zephyrs, and they bought some F units, and had them all nice and silver to match the Streamliners. Well, that didn't last but a couple of years, and I say couple loosely. They just did not find them suited to what they wanted, so they replaced them. They didn't replace them. They bought E units for their passenger service, and then took those nice shiny silver F units and painted them gray. So every now and then you'd see a grayback or graybacks pulling freight trains where I grew up, but you didn't see them on any passenger trains at all. By the mid '50s, they were all doing freight service.
Yeah, of course I've got maybe.
Plumber F unit. Hey, Steve. Hope you're feeling good. F units compared to an E unit, F units suck. I'll take
Yeah,
my E
but
units.
my CNEite F units are pretty. They got
Yeah,
a
yeah.
gorgeous paint job on 'em, light blue and orange.
Yeah. The
Maybe I'll walk over here and find one. I'll be right back.
what you know, mostly F units were used. Well, the railroads that had passenger service going up into the mountains and stuff, they'd use F units, but they'd have to use more of them. Uh, the F unit was what 1,400 horsepower, and the E unit was 1,800 horsepower. Um, uh, so you'd have to use 3 or 4 F units to 1 or 2 E units. Hello, Eagle Creek. Welcome, welcome. So, oh, none of you guys went to Amherst. Huh? I saw Heath put out his first video. He was in New Haven transferring trains, waiting to get to Springfield. It looks a bit like a gorgeous day up there, and I see Bernard Hellens with Mini Prince has been putting some videos out already.
Now
Our
this
big.
is this
Go
is
ahead.
an FP unit. I love that paint job.
The blue and orange.
Yeah, that's a pretty paint job there. So yeah, I think that's my only FP unit. But CNI used a lot of them, and yes, they were used a lot for freight, especially with the decline of passenger service from Chicago southward into eastern
Yeah.
Illinois and Indiana, western Indiana. Of course, that started going downward in the mid to late 50s.
Right.
So then they were delegated to pulling freight cars.
Hey, does anybody have a 3D printer that could print me a baby carriage? I want, and let me put it in perspective. I want to put a scene inside of Union Station from The Untouchables, where the stroller gets away from the lady and starts bumping down the steps, and Kevin Costner's trying to grab it and shoot at the other guy, and Andy Garcia's laying down at the bottom with his gun up in the air. I want to recreate that scene inside of Union Station, but I got the lady. All I need is a baby carriage.
I'm sure Mini Prints has one.
They don't. I asked
They
Bernard. No, I told Bernard I needed one.
And Bernard, you're correct about that. I agree with you 100%. I've got an E unit, and boy, it's long.
E units are long.
Yeah.
But I tell you what, at least here on the Model Railroad, they pull really well, these Proto 2000 E units. Now, don't get a Model Power E unit. They suck.
Well, I have an Athearn E unit.
Athearn made an E unit?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow. I've never seen an Athearn E unit.
Well, now let me pull that back.
Is it a Genesis?
Yeah, it's a Genesis.
Yeah, okay. Maybe so then.
But it's in the CNEI.
Yeah, I know, Steve. It's got to be a resin printer.
Yeah, of course I have a resin
it's a Genesis?
printer, but I haven't figured out how to print yet.
So it is a Genesis?
Yes, it is.
Okay, that's why I'd never seen one. Yeah. First E unit I ever saw in Model Railroad was the Protos when they came out in the, I want to say mid to early 90s.
Nope.
And I thought I died and gone to heaven. I was at a train show in Oklahoma City. And you got to keep in mind, I watched E units galore run through my hometown, and but you couldn't find, in the 60s, 70s, you could never find any for model railroads. Excuse me, because model railroading back then really wasn't model railroading. They were toys for the most part, unless you were a serious guy with one of those layouts and Model Railroader or Railroad Model Craftsman or one of the other magazines.
I've really come to respect the Proto 2000 and the Stuart.
Yeah, I got a Stuart F unit.
Yeah, I've got quite a few Stuarts, and they run nice, real nice. And they're heavy too.
Randall, the Pro 2000 E unit you're talking about, the Frisco, same. I've got tons of those in CB and Q, and they're my favorites. They run the best typically. They pull the best. As a matter of fact, I'll get one fired up. Well, I'll get two fired up. How's that? I'll get the Zephyr running. Maybe. Hello. He'll get going here in a minute. One of the units has a delay, and I got to get into the CVs and change that. There it goes.
My dog's silly. That's good, Steve. Another Steve. My Steve up here. I got my Steve in Florida, and I got my Steve in Tennessee. You can never have enough Steves.
That's right. You got Steve the plumber and Steve Wigwag and me.
Yeah, and they do have the Kato drives in them, Bernard. You're correct. Yeah, I like them. I mean, I've got some that I collected that aren't CNEI, but they're undecorated, so I can try to do that paint job. I have the correct paint. I just gotta figure out how to do the striping, so and the curved like wings that they have.
Whoa! Come here! What are you doing?
Yeah, see those E units, they derail too much.
It didn't derail. It came on.
I don't know. You blocked the camera. We couldn't tell what it did.
It was uncoupled, and I was wondering why. See, I set my trailing whenever I run multi units consisted. I always set the trailing loco up at a slightly higher speed table to keep what just happened from happening. All right, because the trailing loco is actually doing the primary pulling. All right. So if you set it up a little higher, if they do come uncoupled, the front loco is not supposed to run away from it. But obviously, that didn't work a minute ago. I don't have any Atlas locomotives. And it's not by design. It's not by design. I just don't have any. Although, this week, what was it, Wednesday? I got an email. Someone wanted my money. It was Kato, or if you prefer, Kato, letting me know, they sent me an invoice for my E8 that's been pre-ordered for, 2 years now?
Well,
were there any survivors? Survivors from what, Bernard? So anyway, apparently the CB&Q E units no, it wasn't from Kato. It was from Rapido, and apparently they've hit the U.S. and getting ready to ship out because they wanted my money. All right, hi, take care.
I'm still waiting for my two GP7s to come in that I ordered last November. But mine are already paid for, so all I got to do is pay shipping to here. Because, of course, I bought them from my hobby shop, Zitniks in Florida, and before I realized I was going to move, so...
Yeah, I'm not impressed with this pre-order BS. I mean, I understand why the manufacturers are doing it, because it helps to contain costs. But hell, you order something. If I had it to do all over again right now, I wouldn't order the Rapido E8. Okay, because back when I ordered it, I needed like 3 more. So I figured I'd get one of the Rapidos. Well, in the interim, I ended up getting 5 more Proto 2000s. Not necessarily out of design. It was just happened. I was on eBay and make me an offer type thing. So I lowballed 2 different ones, and both were for multiple E units, and I ended up winning them all. Not just one, but all of them. So here I got 5 E units all at once. I still have 2 that I haven't put decoders in. So, hey, does anybody know what decoders come in a Rapido locomotive? I know what. Somebody's probably going to tell me ESU.
Most likely ESU, so you can't program it.
Exactly. I'm not. They're great. From what I understand, they're great decoders. Uh, Other than the fact I'll never buy one because simply for the fact you got to have their proprietary programming system, and that's just BS. I disagree with that 100%. So
Well, see those two RS1s that you like so much, Steve, of mine.
the ones that we tried to program and retried and couldn't
Yeah,
because they were ESU.
yeah, that's correct. So I had to take them down to Suncoast or Gulf
Oh, you took them
Coast,
to Gulf Coast?
Gulf Gulf Coast, and
I didn't know that they had an ESU programmer.
oh yes, they do. It only took
Okay.
them about 2 minutes. So
Yeah.
it's. But I can't change any of the other CVs if I wanted to, which I don't think I do because they sound so good.
Right.
But I can't change anything else. So eventually, I will have to buy an ESU programmer.
Now I saw, who was it? Was it I think it was uh, oh gosh, Larry Puckett, the DCC guy, that said you can take and read what the CVs are. Look at, if you go to Larry Puckett, DCC guy's channel, and run ESU programming, he's got a video where he programs an ESU decoder without an ESU unit, and he does it through a text file. All right, where he takes it out. You got to get the download, the Windows download for ESU, and then you can take the CVs you want, export them to a text file, bring them into JMRI, and then write it to the decoder. Either that or vice versa. I'm not sure, but you could go to Larry Puckett, the DCC guy's channel. He's got a way of doing it.
Oh, I'll have to check that out.
See, Bernard says, yeah, it's Larry. Okay. And I didn't dream it then. Hey, Ray Ron, I just watched a video of yours this morning. What was it? And it was a good one. I can't remember what it was on, though. If you're not subscribed to Ray Ron, subscribe. He's got a good channel. I really enjoy it. Eagle Creek's another one. I enjoy. Wears his 49ers stocking cap, or what in Tennessee they call them toboggans. I don't know why. Toboggan to me is a sled. You got your box, John?
I have my box. Well, you want me to unveil it on the box?
Yeah.
This box came from the Riverview, Florida distributor for Caboose Stop Hobbies. Somebody in that area buys a lot of stuff from them, and he happened to see something on their show, and he got it for me. And it's an old Athearn blue box, right? And it is a CNEI covered gondola, which he didn't put metal wheels on for me. He didn't change the couplers for me. He leaves all that for me to do.
I told you I'm out of couplers.
Oh, okay. Excuses.
Now
Anyway,
I should have put metal wheels on for you. I'm sorry. When I send, I'll tell you what. When I send you the War Emergency hopper, I'll send you some metal wheels.
No, I've got plenty of metal wheels. Unfortunately, I probably can't. That number is 82 005. That's about my 25th one that is 82005.
But you love to renumber them. At least
Yeah,
that's what
but
you tell.
you know,
You asked
yeah,
me why I don't renumber mine. I figured
but
you'd just love to do yours. So
there's so many white numbers there, and I just heard on somebody's broadcast last night that there is a place in England that you can buy cartridges that are white for doing decals. I'm going to have to look that up because I couldn't find any. But what I decided to do on all these, and they're all black gondolas, so they're the same number. What I'm going to do is go into an Excel spreadsheet program and do the little boxes black with the white letters.
uh-huh.
And then I've got a sheet of white back decal paper that I'll go in and I'll print them on that white back decal paper, which my computer can't print white, so it'll just leave it no color. And that will make my decals that I can just paste right over them.
Yep.
Of course, I do have to seal that before I try to put them in water and put them on, Steve.
Yeah, that always helps.
Yeah.
For
Yeah.
those that don't realize it, John is give me a load of crap right now.
Yes. Well, you can tell them why, Steve. It's a valid point.
And most people have heard this story before, but I'll do it again just for you, John. I my first attempt at doing my own decals. Okay, I went and got inkjet decal paper. Okay, and I said this is cool. So I was working on building Aurora, and I had all these emblems for all the different railroads that were represented on the retirement railroad, and they were going to be put on the pedestrian bridge. So I printed them all the emblems out, had them all scaled properly and everything, and ran a whole sheet of these emblems, and printed them out, let the ink dry and everything, and cut out the first ones to put on there, and I started soaking them in the water, and all of a sudden these things the ink just melted away. I say melted, it ran. And I'm going, well, this ain't worth a crap, all right, because it didn't work. And I said, how do other people do decals? I mean, did I use the wrong ink? Did I use the wrong paper? Or what the hell's the deal here? So I went back and I decided, okay, let's read the instructions. Now, how many of y'all read instructions? Okay.
Yeah.
We're guys. All right. We're all guys. And guys, reading instructions is like asking for directions. We just don't do that, right? Lesson learned. If you're making decals, read the instructions because it says real simple. Number 1, create and print your design. Hey, I did that. I didn't need instructions to tell me how to do that. All right. Number 3, notice I'm skipping number 2. Cut out the designs. Hey, I did that. All right, no problem. Number 4, soak the decal. Hey, I can do that. Number 5, position the decal. Well, when you try to position the decal, that's when all the ink comes off, all right? And number 6 is allow the decal to dry. Well, you got to have a decal to allow it to dry, right? But the key point here was number 2. Just the little tidbit I didn't know, all right? And if you read number 2, it says seal design with clear coat.
And Steve, that reminds me of Monty Python and the Holy Grail and the Holy Hand Grenade. Thou shalt not proceed till 3, till thus do 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is the lesson. If you're doing decals, read the instructions. I don't care if you're a guy or not.
Steve last week showed off a new hat. Well, while Steve was buying his new hat, he happened to find another hat. And
okay, yeah. Hang on. There you go.
Yeah, so this is my old hat. I've had it for a while. It's a nice hat.
Wore out. It's wore out, John.
What's that?
Uh-oh. I said it's wore. The old one was wore out.
Oh no, it's not wore out. It's got plenty of life left. Anyway, there's one hat. But now, Steve, send me a new hat. And this is all stitched in, so it should stay there a while.
Yeah, that's Yelsma Graphics, Denny Yelsma out of Jacksonville, Florida.
Does a great job too.
Hey, Nisi.
So, of course, my camera's too low. It's always pointing at my floppy chin or neck. But, yeah. So, thank you very much, Steve. I appreciate it. Of course, I was at a train show, and I picked up some things for Steve at the train show because they had Burlington. I wish I would have had more money. I could have picked him up some more stuff. But, yeah. You were talking about community earlier. That's what we did.
Yep.
That's the way it works the best.
Yep. So, I got one more thing last week in the mail, and from a member that's here or was here. I think he's still here. He was here as of 12/17 Eastern time. All right, but I got a package from Lynn McCurdy. All right, now there he is, and Lynn and his wife were supposed to come here back in November because they were leaving out of Tampa on a cruise. So we were looking forward to getting together and everything. And he said he had a package he was going to bring me for the railroad. Unfortunately, it was like the week before his wife had the stroke and they were unable to take the cruise. All right. So Lynn went ahead and mailed this to me, and it arrived this last week. So I'll open it up. Now, keep in mind, this is a Tyco caboose. This is the one modern style of caboose, all right, that I did not have, all right, and so I will do some work on this and get it on the retirement railroad. Thank you, Lynn, very much. Now, but wait, there is more. All right. Also in the box, because Lynn is a better friend to me than I am to you, John. Lynn sent metal wheels to go with it, and KD 148s.
I'm surprised he didn't install them for you before he sent them.
So thank you, Lynn. But wait, there is more. Also in the box, Lynn had heard me months and months and months ago mention that I needed dump trucks for the retirement railroad. And the reason being, I've got the gravel and quarry over there. I got a cement plant. I got the lumber yard. I got all these places that need dump trucks. So Lynn sent me a little dump truck. All right. All right. So what I'll do is I'll take some ballast and load up the dump truck and probably have it on one of the roads running around. So cool beans. Thank you, Lynn.
Well,
I
Lynn, if
know.
you ever find them, I could use 40s and early 50s vehicles of any kind.
Hey, Joe Rader and I fight over the vehicles on the caboose stop shows. Uh oh.
Where'd you go?
Ruh-roh. I lost a train.
Yeah, Lynn, you are a much better friend to Steve than Steve is to me. I'll agree. Yeah. Of course, you've probably known Steve longer than I have. I just
I don't know.
happened to run into Steve's channel. I guess it came up as a random thing on my YouTube. And then when I found out that he was from, Riverview, close, I started watching every one of them. I think I've gone back all the way to the beginning where he's sitting out on his koi deck, talking about model railroading.
Yeah, that would be number one.
Yeah, you remember that, Steve?
Yep.
Sound was horrible because all you heard was the waterfall in the back, and yeah.
Yeah, sounds horrible all the time anyway. So.
No, it's really gotten a lot better, Steve. Your cameras have too.
Hey, Rick's Railroad. Hello, Kyle. Welcome, guys. Mystic hasn't popped in yet, has he?
No, I haven't seen him.
You know, because when Mystic's here, I gotta do. Where is it? I got a special thing for when Mystic is here. Get it going. Get it going.
Lynn, I don't think I could blame that on Heath.
Why? We can blame everything on Heath. Oh, there it is. Well, that's not the one I want. That's the one I want. Blow your eardrums out, John. I do that just for Mystic, since he loves it so much. 11 comments. Oh. Bye, Joe. Yeah, Joe just got a package from Vinny, so he's got to do his mail call. Yeah. Well, that's how we meet everybody, is through other channels. And I see somebody that new on another channel. I go and take a look at their channel, and I don't subscribe to everybody, just because if I'm gonna subscribe to somebody, I want to make sure I watch their channel. And I don't always comment on videos, but I typically watch every one of everybody's videos. All right, and I try to comment them all. But if I'm watching on the big screen TV and I don't have my phone handy, then I don't comment. So,
right.
The only thing, I'm not a big rail fan. So I don't watch too many rail fanning videos. I want to watch model railroad.
I'm getting to a point where I've subscribed to so many now. I've got pages on my YouTube, and I hardly ever get down to the bottom area.
Yeah.
So of course I have my Few Like Steve's channel where it tells me about all the videos he puts on. So it's always to the top, just like
because I'm special.
Wow. You're a special person, that's for sure, Steve.
Yeah, I ride the short bus. I know. All right. Well, Mystic's not here, so I'll turn the music off. But as soon as I find out where, right there. Okay. Yeah, you're right, Rayon. I don't have cable. I cut the cable years ago, and now I have cable service, just not the TV, just for the internet. Don't have a landline phone. Gee, think about how things have changed. I grew up. I'm old enough where most people my age started with a rotary. When they were little, they had a rotary telephone. Okay. And I don't remember us ever having a rotary telephone. All my friends did. But my dad worked for Illinois Bell Telephone. And as a staff engineer for Illinois Bell, all right, he was part of the beta testing group. So we had touch tone phones in our house from probably 1960, 61, somewhere in there. Like I said, I don't remember rotary telephones in our home. I'd go to other friends' houses and I'd want to call home, and I'd have to look at that rotary phone, and my friends had to explain to me how they worked. All right. And yes, I know how they work now, but it was totally different. And my dad taught us how to play music on the phone, what letters to press and what sequence to play music. And so,
Lynn, I just subscribed to your channel, so.
Lynn does a whole lot of shorts, all right, from his train shows, because he goes. I think he spends most of his weekends at train shows, and he's
Nothing wrong with that.
He's got an infinite library. He's the High Desert something model railroad club, Mojave, I don't know, and he's this one guy's modules. He has a harbor scene. He's got an Iowa class battleship, an HO scale Iowa class battleship, an HO scale USS Arizona. He's got multiple freighters. Got military stuff galore. I mean, it's just really cool to look at this stuff. High Desert Modular. Yeah, modular. That's what the other M is. I knew the rest of it. So.
Gone for a couple minutes.
Okay. High Desert Modular Model Railroad Club. I'm as bad as Heath. Well, the reason I didn't know it, Lynn, I'm just gonna blame Heath. All right. I am in uniform today. Yeah, my aunt and uncle had a party line phone. I remember that in Arkansas. Well, of course it was Arkansas, right? Boom. Oh yeah, he's got the USS Hornet. What's the other aircraft carrier? Because the Hornet's got the B-25 Mitchell bombers on it. Yeah, Civil War and lots more. Yeah. Oh yeah, I built all those, but not in 1/87th, Kyle. I had them in like a 1/700th or so. I don't know. These are huge HO scale ships. That's right. You had a few things from Rick, and Rick sends stuff out like the coffee mugs and so forth, and I've sent stuff to Rick, I sent stuff to Ray, and it's just a community, and I hear somebody needing something I might have, and if it's sitting around doing nothing, I have no problem giving it to them. So. All I gotta do now is get Nisi to come over here and play trains. Come on, Nisi, we gotta play trains. Need to do an op session. I got more stuff to give you. Nisi and her husband stopped by about a year ago. Yeah, I still have. I should dig them out. My ships from up there, and of course, if you look back there on the lakefront, you'll see a bunch of military trucks and stuff, and I got a tank hidden here and there and a half track, and if you watch my cab ride videos, and look closely in the trees and stuff, you'll see some military stuff hiding, just in case Chicago gets invaded. Oh, that's cool. My dad was on the post-war after the Japanese surrender. He was a corpsman attached to the Marine Corps, so they put him on a destroyer, and the USS Maddox, and the Maddox was running up and down the California coast, ferrying sailors and so forth. Yeah, you just have some really amazing modules, man, in your club. Let me see if I can get that. What is the deal here? I got a dead engine. Well, he's not totally dead. I hear sound coming from him. Huh.
Hey, Steve, I got to go ahead and sign off. I got to help the son with his car.
All righty.
Okay, you guys have a good day. Yep, take care. Bye, y'all.
All right. We're here. I'm trying to get I've got a train that's an engine that's acting up back there. If you're in the U.S. and it's a double prop military, it's a Chinook. Well, here it comes. It decided to run. Go figure. All right, Lynn, well, whenever you have to, right? All right, so that engine's going to drive me nuts. I need to put a keep alive in it. I think I used my last extra that I had. Oh, crap. Well, let's just do it. Okay, I'm here. Is that a good thing that you're watching me or a bad thing, Lynn? All right, let's put the Zephyr away so I can figure out what's wrong with that trailing engine. Sulph Ridge Air Force Base. I don't even know where that is. And I thought I was pretty good on my bases. Perfect. All right. There. Okay. Michigan. Okay. Well, we're at Michigan, Rick. I spent a lot of my childhood in Michigan. I got relatives in Flint area, and I got relatives in southeast of Grand Rapids in Hastings, up by Mount Clemens. Okay, I don't know where that is. We spent a lot of time at my uncle's cabin up in between Rose City and Mayo on Island Lake. And of course, loved, still do go to Mackinac. Monroe, okay. I know where Monroe's at. That's because she likes us so much, right, Lynn? Or she knows you like us so much. Could be either. So cool. Right, Monroe. Was that where Edison was from, or is that where Custer was from? Somebody famous was from there. I want to say either Thomas Edison or George Armstrong Custer, one or the other. All right, Nisi. We'll see you later. We're at 112. No big hurry. I hope the two things that I have that I'm expecting come in this next week. Custer, okay, all right. See? I knew it was one of those two. Then Edison must have been from New Jersey. I don't remember. So I had a good buddy from Grosse Pointe Woods, actually. Oh, that's neat, Rick. Then, if I'm not mistaken, isn't Monroe like between Detroit and Ann Arbor, where the big house? If y'all are ever in or going by Ann Arbor, stop and take a look at the big house. Stadiums are big, but the big house is huge. It's the University of Michigan Stadium. It holds like 100. It was the largest at one point. I think it still may be. It was at like 106,000, but they added on to it again. So your wife is getting her first Loco, the N scale one, Bernard. Oh, okay. I wasn't sure. I knew it's by Detroit. So, and if 75 goes through it, I've been there. Because I've been through Toledo. Been a few years, but. All right, Bernard. Cost of mile railroading just went up, buddy. It's kind of like, for me, the in koi, every time I bought a fish, my wife wanted some koi jewelry, right? And not the cheapo stuff. She wanted the good stuff. There was a vendor, Jack Chang, the Gold Factory, that put out some great and some great koi jewelry. My wife could have been a walking model. She still could for it. She still has it all. Okay, Monroe, south of Detroit, just like Anthony said. Okay, slapped me upside the head. I had it wrong. I thought it was to the west. Yep. I've been through it. Now, if anybody's ever into cars, all right, there's a place north of Kalamazoo. If you ever hear of the racing team of Gilmore IndyCar, he, for back in the, what would it have been, 70s, maybe 80s too, AJ Foyt and Gilmore produced IndyCars together. Gilmore, Foyt, Coyote racing IndyCars. All right. So this guy was a multi-millionaire, and he's from a little area just north of Kalamazoo. He had a big farm there, and he's turned it into probably one of the premier automotive museums I've ever seen or heard of. You know, the giant Chitty Chitty Bang Bang car, it's there. He's got one of the original Tuckers. He's got they've redone a bunch of the barns, first floor and second floor, and have all these museum collector's items. And the coolest thing about it is they run. All of these cars run, and they're in a cycle. You go there like on a summer day, and you'll see these cars running, not fast, just piddling around on the farm, because he's put in all these roads between all these different buildings. And he has a replica of a Ford dealer. He's got a replica of a Chevy dealer. He's got replicas of all these different dealers with cars in them. All right. He's got an old diner. He's got an old 50s style gas station with a car up on a lift. He's got just the coolest place. And just picture a big farm with all these buildings on it and little roads running around. And they run all these antique cars around them. It is so cool. It's the Gilmore Car Museum. Okay. And it's north of Kalamazoo, out in the country, or south of Hastings, where my relatives live. We visiting one of my cousins. He said, "You want to go by this car museum?" I'm going, "Yeah, okay." And we got there, and I'm going, "Holy crap!" It is very impressive. And I'm a car guy, but I could care less about going to a car museum until I went to this one. Yeah, Rick, it's only a couple hour drive, if that, from you. All right, it's pick a nice day in the summer and run over there. It's just the coolest thing. It really is. One scale's enough for me, Bernard. I have a hard enough time with that. 3 hours, really? From your house to Kalamazoo? Huh. All right. Yeah, look up on the internet, Gilmore Museum, Michigan. All right, my L train shipment shipped. Comes out of Toronto area, not too far from Bernard Helens and Mini Prince. Okay. Fantasy of Flight. We have one of those between Tampa and Orlando. I've never been there. Didn't know anything about it. It is huge, Rick. It is. It's not one building. It's a bunch of good-sized buildings. All right, and it's just really, really neat. You know that they got a little diner there. You know, the 50 style. You know, diner. You go in with limited menu, but you know you can grab a snack at least. So anyway, I don't know if I said it aloud or whether I was just thinking it, but my ITLA L platforms. For everybody who doesn't know, Chicago L platform is for the elevated light rail that makes the loop. Really? Well, Bernard, if you make it to Fantasy of Flight between Tampa and Orlando, and you don't tell me you're coming, I'm gonna kick your ass. All right. Fantasy of Flight is less than an hour. It's probably 45 minutes from my house. And if you fly into Orlando or if you fly into Tampa, it doesn't matter. It's probably actually closer to Tampa Airport than it is to Orlando Airport. See, Rick, I told you, 2 hours. All right, didn't I say that? Straight down I-94. Boom. Now it might take you. I don't know where you get off and avoid Kalamazoo. I guarantee it's what, 10 or 15 miles north, if that. I forget the name of the county it's out in, the middle of. Best one-on-one aircraft in the world. Well, they got a DC-3 sitting out on the interstate, all right, as part of the signage for the place, and out on I-4. I'll do that, Bernard. Well, if you had a week of it, you better plan on spending one day here, and we'll do ops on the retirement railroad. So, and we can run over to Zitniks or Gulf Coast model trains if you want. Heck, I can check the schedule and see when the Tropicana juice train's coming through, because it's only about 4 miles from my house. All right, send me the link, Lee. I'll be on. I keep forgetting because you didn't send me the link the last few weeks, so I forget. But you send me a link, I remember because I put it in my calendar then. You know, I thought this Union Station build was involved. All right, just wait. The post office over there, holy crap. Now, it's not going to have an interior, but it's very involved in building. So far, I've spent 3 days just doing foundation work because I got it. It has to be at a specific. The model itself has to be a specific height to be where the road that runs through the middle of it lines up with the road behind it. All right, and then yet it's got to have the clearance necessary for the trolley line to go through it. How far from Danny Harmon? I don't know what a Danny or who a Danny Harmon is. You'd have to tell me. All right. I guess I could Google it. GTS. Danny Harmon. Harmon or Harmon? Danny Harmon train videos? Oh, the distant signals guy? Yeah. Okay. DH. Yeah. I don't know where he lives. He's here in the Tampa Bay area somewhere, from what I understand. I mean, he's got a TV voice to him. You know, unlike me. Yeah, PFE must have owned a crap load of reefers because every railroad had them. Yes, Distant Signals is his YouTube name, I think. Anyway, yeah, I'm a subscriber of his. I have if there's a rail fan I watch, it'll be one of his. I really enjoyed his Juice Train video running up, and he followed it from Sarasota all the way up to Jacksonville. And he's done that on a lot of different places, rail fanning places. Yeah, when it was that video that I realized, well, shit, that's just running over on the CSX tracks just down the street. Hello, Peter. How you doing today? Keith from CA&P or CP&A or whatever. He's a truck driver. He was in town. I didn't know it. I wish he would have said something. Doing video on Amtrak service into Tampa. Yeah, I've got a lot of PFE cars. You know, with the one I just got from Cousin Vinny. This is a Southern. All right, and it's really not a reefer. It's just an insulated box car. So I guess you'd put some like potatoes or something in there. All right. Hell, we used to swim in the ponds and creeks, and anywhere with water. Of course, in Illinois, you don't have too many poisonous snakes. Northern Illinois, you don't have too many poisonous snakes. So, stuff. I can't remember a southern, a summer day where we weren't down at the creek wading around and looking for crawdads and different stuff. And then, anybody ever use a cement tub as a boat? Well, that was a big thing that we did. And I'm out in the cement tub, and me and my buddy, and paddling across the pond, and here goes a bus, school bus by, and my older brother's hanging out one of the windows. And he's going, I'm telling. I'm going, you ass. All right. Because he's the one that told me how to do it. All right. He went home. Sure enough, he told my parents. And by the time I got home, oh my God, you thought I would have robbed a bank or something. I can remember I've been in the old Dearborn Street Station in Chicago. It's been torn down for years. That's where the Santa Fe went into there, the Grand Trunk, and a lot of others. I think C&EI went into there, but it was the one on the south side of town. There was a Grand Central Station in Chicago that I didn't know it existed. That's where Baltimore and Ohio went into. I don't know who else went in there. LaSalle Street was the Rock Island, went into LaSalle Street. The Van Buren Street was Illinois Central, and the what's the electric railroad that went around the south side of Lake Michigan? It went in there. And then Union Station, there was another station just north of Union Station where Chicago Northwestern went into, and it's the Thompson Transportation Center now. But the Milwaukee, the Pennsylvania, the Burlington, probably somebody else Pennsylvania, all went into Union Station. And now, with Amtrak, it's, of course, it's just Amtrak, but you could almost find any railroad at a given point in time that went into Union Station if they were doing work at one of the others, because it was the busiest train station in the world. In the country was St. Louis, believe it or not, and they'd always try to rub it in. Chicago is, our train station's busier than yours. Well, yeah, but we've got 6 of them. All right. One of which was almost as busy as St. Louis. So, yeah, that'd be fun, Rick. A lot of people don't realize Chicago has a subway system too. Not just the L. It's got subway system. It's got tunnels that connect the buildings, and there's an old series of railroad tunnels that go under the Chicago River and such, and that's how they would take supplies into downtown. And there's some YouTube videos about that. You never know what when they anytime they build a new skyscraper, the caissons, which is the anchors that are bored down into the ground, and they're bored all the way down to the Niagara bedrock, which don't ask me how many feet that is, but it's the same strata of bedrock that forms Niagara Falls. Okay, and that's hundreds of miles away. But anyway, all those big skyscrapers like the Sears Tower, etc., the caissons are all anchored down that bedrock. And anytime they put a new skyscraper in, it's amazing some of the stuff they find. Okay, as they excavate. that's cool, Bernard. So you just stretched cables out, checkerboard pattern across a lake before it froze. And that's how they break up the ice blocks. Cool. Cool. You know, you think about it, where the hell do you get ice in the summertime? You know, for all these cities. Well, they get it out of the mountains. They haul it. Hey, Alan! At the Mason-Dixon Railroad. You never know. There's probably buried bodies. I brought a fraternity brother home from Iowa for a weekend, and took him up in the Sears Tower. And all of a sudden, I noticed he's got his nose pressed up against the glass, looking down on the west side of the building. And what are you looking at, Jeff? He said, I'm waiting for a dead body to come floating up out of the river. All right. You've been watching too many movies, man. That shit doesn't happen. And so we leave the Sears Tower. We're walking over to Berghaus to grab some lunch. And my favorite German restaurant in all the whole world. And we're walking. We walk by this alley, and there's this car, and there's three guys got this car all jacked up, and he goes. Well, he starts to walk down the alley. Whoa, where are you going? Well, let's go help them. No, they're stripping that car. He says, I thought you said that shit doesn't happen. Well, that shit does. Of course, this is back in the 70s, late 70s. All right. So what else is happening, guys? I can sit here and tell stories all day. Anybody got anything special going on? Nobody going to Amherst? Or everybody that is going to Amherst isn't on here because they're all on the way to Amherst. Well, that's pretty cool, Bernard. They changed it. Yeah, anytime you can repurpose a building, I think that's pretty cool. All right, like the old UP Roundhouse in Evanston. You know, they donated it to the city, and the city's refurbishing it. I think it's the one in Evanston. If it's not Evanston, it's Cheyenne. Maybe it's Cheyenne. Well, thank you, Peter. Well, it's funny because you talk about the passion we have for our railroads. Most people, like, I'm a big CB&Q. It's a fallen flag, Chicago, Burlington, and Quincy, which is one of the three majors. There were actually five, but one of the three majors that became the Burlington Northern, which ultimately became the Burlington Northern Santa Fe. And it's typically that passion is what we grew up with, what we're familiar with. All right. And as the time goes on, you know, a lot of what the common knowledge for us may have been is history for other people. You know, and I don't look at the knowledge base I have for the CB&Q Burlington as history. It's just what I grew up with, and I like to share it. Then you have to ask for your money? Anthony? Isn't your pension just set up for direct deposit? I don't get it. Speaking of which, my second pension kicks in February 1st. Yay! And I deferred it. I could have taken it 3 years ago, but I deferred for tax reasons. I wanted to make sure I was on Medicare and stuff before I took it. Yeah, it's like my railroad back here. It's non-prototypical. It's proto-representative, but it's just a series of scenes, and those scenes don't necessarily belong in the order that they're depicted on the retirement railroad, because of the way the layout is and the way the scene is. Didn't lend itself to be sequential. Yeah, Bernard, I so wish I would have taken pictures growing up of all of it. I'm fortunate enough where there was a guy by the name of Marty Bernard, all right, who lived less than a mile away from me on the north side of the Burlington tracks. I lived on the south side, and he worked for the CB&Q from I think right out of high school, or he started working for him, and an avid photographer. So he's got all these pictures of the different locomotives. He's got a great library. It's all indexed and everything. So anytime I want pictures of something, and I'm not just necessarily talking about of the rolling stock or motive power, it could be just some of the trackside scenery, because you can go look for one of his pictures and run it for Westmont as an example. He's got tons of stuff, and he's the one I learned that Downers Grove, my hometown, had a turntable. I did not know that, because Downers Grove was the terminus for commuter service until sometime in the late 50s, I think. Don't quote me on that. So they had to have a turntable there to turn the steam engines around. And once the last steam engine quit commuter service in September of 57, then they yanked out the turntable sometime in the early 60s, when I was still a toddler or preschooler, maybe a grade schooler, I don't know. Actually, most of the Burlington Northern stuff was Cascade green and white. But I hate the Burlington Northern color scheme. Probably because that's what took over from the Chinese red and gray of the CB&Q. And so I had a little animosity of that merger. And then there were no more of the silver E units. Everything went to the green and white, and I just never liked it. Now, I think the Burlington Northern Santa Fe color schemes are great. Yeah, no kidding, Derek. I got a very nice 35 millimeter, not 35 millimeter, a single lens reflex digital camera. I also have a 35 millimeter camera, and hell, my iPhone takes better pictures than that thing does. Uh-oh, somebody just left me a comment. William Bryant, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you, William Bryant. All right, guys. We're approaching the witching hour. Thank you, Peter. Welcome back, Joe. We're just getting ready to shut her down. Did you get your video done, Joe? Oh, it is. Okay, I see. There's a delay. Your video. Okay. Well, that means Joe's got his mail call video up, so we all have something better to watch now. How's the weather here today? It was damn cold, Derek. I woke up and it was 46 degrees. All right, but right now the sun is out and it is 63. And I can guarantee it, Derek, it's warmer here than it is where you're at. Speaking from experienced Iowa winters. All right, Peter. We're on every 11:30 Eastern time every Friday. And then on Tuesdays, I put out a tip of the day, which is not always a tip. It's just what's been going on, what I've been working on. So 40 degrees there. All right, guys. I want to thank you for joining me here at the Retirement Railroad. And I'm Steve. Y'all have a great day. Bye now, guys.